That voice. It resonates like thunder across distant plains. A voice that's narrated our collective American imagination for over 5 decades. When Sam Elliott speaks, we don't just hear words. We feel them. But what happens when that iconic voice falls silent? When the man behind the mustache steps away from the spotlight to speak directly to those who've supported him through every triumph and controversy, what truth emerges? Today we explore the raw, unfiltered message Sam Elliott recently shared with his fans, a message that's left many emotional and others questioning everything they thought they knew about Hollywood's most authentic cowboy. Before we reveal the contents of Elliott's heartfelt message, we need to understand the man behind it. Because to truly grasp the weight of his words, you must first know the weight he's carried. Sacramento, California, 1944. A boy is born who would one day become the embodiment of American resilience. But Sam Elliott's path to stardom wasn't paved with gold stars and silver spoons. It was forged through grit, determination, and the kind of stubborn belief that defies logic and sometimes even family. My father died thinking I was a total idiot for wanting to be an actor, Elliott once revealed. Those words linger in the air whenever he speaks of his past. At just 18, Sam lost his father to a heart attack, a defining moment that could have extinguished his dreams. Instead, it ignited them. What drives a young man to pursue a path his father dismissed as hopeless? What inner fire burns so bright that even parental disapproval can't dim it? While his contemporaries landed starring roles, Sam found himself holding a shovel instead of a script. Construction work paid the bills while auditions led mostly to closed doors. But fate has a way of appearing in unexpected forms. Imagine this. You're pouring cement on a hot California day's sweat, stinging your eyes when a casual conversation changes everything. For Sam, that moment came when a construction client, an assistant director, invited him to visit a film set. From that single invitation came his first film role. A card player with a single line in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. One line, off camera, a shadow on a wall. For most, it would hardly qualify as a beginning. For Sam, it was everything. Have you ever wondered what separates those who succeed from those who surrender? Is it talent, luck, or something deeper, something etched into the very soul? Throughout the 1970s, Sam Elliott silently built a foundation for what would become an iconic career. Beer commercials, guest spots on television, supporting roles in films that have long since faded from public memory. Not the glamorous Hollywood story we're used to hearing, is it? But here's what few understand about true greatness. It rarely announces itself with fanfare. Instead, it builds moment by moment, choice by choice, until one day the world suddenly sees what was always there. By the 1980s and 90s, that's exactly what happened. Films like Mask, Roadhouse, and The Big Lebowski revealed what Sam had always known, that his distinct presence carried a power few actors possess. That voice, that mustache, that unwavering authenticity that can't be taught or manufactured. But behind the cameras, a different story was unfolding, one Sam kept private for decades. In a rare 1980 interview, Elliott revealed something few male actors dared to discuss: his experience with Hollywood's notorious casting couch. You cannot believe the casting couch stories he confessed. I could tell you the cliches are all true. What makes this admission remarkable isn't just its honesty, but its timing. Decades before the Me Too movement would make such conversations common, Elliott admitted he'd been approached by both men and women in positions of power, and that his refusal likely hurt his career. "I'm the one who has to live with that guilt," he said, before adding, "My conscience is clear, even though my career is still not setting the world on fire." Would you compromise your values for fame? For how many of us would that question remain theoretical, a hypothetical exercise never tested by real temptation? For Sam Elliott, it was reality, and his answer speaks volumes about the man behind the legend. In an industry where relationships often burn bright but brief, Sam's marriage to actress Katherine defies expectations. Their love story reads like a Hollywood script, too perfect to be true. They first crossed paths on the set of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, where she was the star and he was that shadow on the wall. "I didn't dare try to talk to her then," Sam recalled. "She was the leading lady, I was a glorified extra." Nearly a decade passed before fate reunited them on The Legacy in 1978. This time he found his voice. This time connection sparked. They married in 1984 and have remained together through 4 decades of Hollywood's relentless pressures. What's their secret? "We have a common sensibility," Elliott once shared, "but we also work at being together." You work past the sucks thrust. You don't walk away from it. That's how relationships last. As the entertainment industry transformed around him, as social media replaced personal connection and streaming services upended traditional media, Sam Elliott remained steadfastly himself. No Twitter account, no Instagram, not even email. Everywhere you look, people are looking at their hands, he observed. In restaurants, it's like you're sitting in a patch of jack-o'-lanterns because everyone's face is lit up by their phone. Nobody's relating to each other. In a world frantically racing toward the future, Sam Elliott stands as a monument to a different time. Not from stubborn resistance to change, but from a deep understanding of what truly matters. 2018 brought Sam Elliott something that had eluded him for decades: Academy recognition. His powerful performance in A Star is Born earned him his first Oscar nomination at age 74. When asked about the honor, his response was characteristically unfiltered. "I think the thing off the top of my head might be, it's about fighting time." The audience laughed, but beneath the humor lay a profound truth. Even our greatest talents often wait decades for the recognition they deserve. How many give up before that recognition arrives? How many surrender their dreams when success doesn't come on schedule? Yet even as accolades finally arrived, new challenges emerged. In 2022, comments Elliott made about the power of the dog sparked intense backlash. His criticism of the film's portrayal of cowboys and its themes led to accusations that cut to the core of his identity. The man who had built a career on portraying strength now needed to demonstrate it in a different way, by acknowledging mistake. "I wasn't very articulate about it," he admitted. "I said some things that hurt people, and I feel terrible about that. I can only say that I'm sorry." What does it cost a man like Sam Elliott to publicly apologize? To stand before the world and acknowledge error? Perhaps more than we can imagine. Yet in that moment of vulnerability, he revealed more strength than in any character he's portrayed. Then came the rumors. In 2023, social media exploded with claims that Sam Elliott had passed away. Videos titled "Sam Elliott's Last Goodbye on His Deathbed" spread like wildfire. Fans mourned. Tributes poured in. But Sam Elliott was very much alive. The incident raises uncomfortable questions about our digital age. How did we reach a point where falsehood travels faster than truth? Where a man can be declared dead while still very much living his life? And what toll does that take on the human beings caught in these viral storms? Which brings us to now. To Sam Elliott at 80 years old, still working, still creating, still bringing that unmistakable presence to new projects like Taylor Sheridan's Landman. And to the letter that has fans talking. The message that emerged not through publicists or press releases, but in the most Sam Elliott way possible. Direct, unfiltered, and profoundly human. After the death hoaxes, after witnessing his own digital obituary, after seeing decades of his life condensed into clickbait headlines, Sam Elliott did something unexpected. He reached out directly to his fan base through a handwritten letter shared by his representation. In it, he expressed something many suspected, but few knew with certainty. His relationship with fame has always been complicated. "I never wanted to be famous," as he wrote. "I wanted to tell stories that matter." He spoke of gratitude for the roles that found him, for the directors who saw past his limitations, for the fans who recognized something in him that sometimes he couldn't see himself. He addressed the controversies, the missteps, the moments where his words failed to capture his intent. "Words matter," he acknowledged, "and sometimes mine have fallen short." But most heartbreaking was his reflection on mortality, not from illness or immediate threat, but from the perspective of a man who has lived long enough to see his own generation begin to fade. "When you reach a certain age," as he wrote, "you become acutely aware that each role could be your last. Each interview, each interaction with someone who values your work." The letter concluded not with grand pronouncements or dramatic flourishes, but with the same quiet dignity that has defined his career. "I may not have many more stories left to tell," he wrote, "but I want you to know that telling them has been the honor of my life." For fans accustomed to the stoic, unbreakable image Elliott projects on screen, these words cut deep. They reveal the humanity behind the icon, the vulnerability behind the strength. What makes Sam Elliott's journey so compelling isn't just longevity, though 5 decades in Hollywood certainly demands respect. It's not just talent, though his is undeniable. It's his unwavering commitment to authenticity in an industry built on illusion. He reminds us that true strength isn't about never falling. It's about how you rise when you do. That integrity isn't measured in moments of glory, but in moments of temptation refused. That success isn't defined by awards or accolades, but by the ability to look back on a life and say, I remained true to myself. In a culture obsessed with overnight success and instant gratification, Sam Elliott stands as living proof that the longest roads often lead to the most meaningful destinations. So what can we learn from Sam Elliott's journey? From that construction worker with a dream to the Hollywood legend who still approaches each role with humility and hunger? Perhaps it's this: that greatness isn't granted. It's earned day by day, choice by choice. That authenticity will always outlast artifice. That it's never too late for recognition, for growth, or for saying what needs to be said. Sam Elliott's letter to his fans wasn't just a message. It was a mirror, reflecting back the very qualities that have drawn us to him for decades. Not perfection, but humanity. Not invincibility, but resilience. And in a world increasingly dominated by filters and facades, that might be the most powerful legacy anyone could hope to leave. What does Sam Elliott's journey mean to you? Which of his roles has left the deepest impression? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you've appreciated this look into the life and legacy of one of Hollywood's most distinctive voices, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell. There are countless more stories waiting to be told, countless more legends whose journeys deserve to be understood. Until next time, remember, in a world where so many are trying to be someone else, there's nothing more powerful than being authentically yourself.